have some potions and carry capacity ready, because we're diving into Skuldafn today. This is a Dragon Priest dungeon only reachable during the quest World Eater's Eyrie, which is near the end of the Alduin quest line. Moving forward from where we're dropped off at the beginning, there will be two ranged Draugr. They'll usually aggro a dragon as well as a third Draugr. Unlike other dragons, the dragons in this area will actually be allied with the Draugr, so they won't fight each other, so you can't count on that in this area. But they're not too strong. The first two dragons in this area are not leveled. After clearing this set of enemies, we're good to go up some stairs. There will be two Draugr waiting for us. They usually don't aggro down to the beginning area, but sometimes they do. After taking care of them, a large open courtyard will have another dragon spawn. Once again, this one won't be leveled. And for either dragon, if they fly up towards the top of the dungeon and aggro a bunch of enemies, don't worry. The dragon will come back down eventually, and the enemies will usually stay up where they are. Excellent animation. Before moving forward, there's a tower here that we can go inside of, the southern tower. Inside, there will be 5 Draugr and a couple urns, as well as a chest at the end of the tower. This is sort of a appetizer for what's to come with a lot of Draugr in tight spaces. Once you kill all the Draugr, you can grab the chest. There are some doors on the top level here that just really give a good view, but nothing else. Let's head back down to where we were. We're now ready to head up some more stairs and into the gauntlet. There's gonna be a lot of enemies, and there's gonna be a lot of them aggroing, so it's really no rest here. As you move along, there will be this tower, which does have a chest inside of it, and more importantly, the tower acts as a pretty good place to fall back to if you need to retreat from all the arrows, shouts, and magic coming your way in this next section. Moving through the ruins, there's not really any easy way to point out where every single Draugr will be, as when you start the fight, more will aggro, and they're all just going to kind of collapse on you. There's a healthy mix of melee and ranged Draugr here, and only a couple magic ones in the area, so you don't need to worry about magic too much. Just be sure to have plenty of potions before coming to this dungeon, and be ready to retreat and hide either inside the previous tower, or back at the beginning of this area. The Draugr don't really follow to the beginning of the dungeon, so it's pretty safe just to run back if you need to regroup. There are also some Draugr above us who are mostly melee with one magic user who might toss a spell or shout down at you, but they're not too worrisome. Once you've taken out all the Draugr in the area, you might notice the ones above looking down on you, which you can take out with either arrows or magic, or just leave them be and you can kill them later. With the main courtyard cleared, we're going to head across a stone bridge to another trio of Draugr. The first two don't really move out even if they get aggroed to you, and they'll just stay in this little area, so you can be sure to heal up before fighting them. The third Draugr is tabbed out and AFK. After you clear these three, there's a chest right on the altar. Again, before moving up, there's another tower we can look into, this time the northern tower. The north tower is extremely similar to the south, but there's no urns, and there's only 3 Draugr in here. Once you take care of them, there will be a chest in a similar area as the south tower, and compared to the south, we're going to head outside the top level, because there's another chest we can get here. Wrapping around this top area, we can re-enter the tower and find a chest. We could just drop down from that top area, but we're going to head back around the inside, just so our quest marker doesn't get messed up. Again, there will be some Draugr above you if you haven't taken care of them, but you don't really need to worry about them, as they won't really get any damage on you with their shouts. Before entering the main temple, let's head around to the left side and find one last chest. All the way on this caved-in corner will be a chest and a potion. Now let's go back around and head inside. Inside the first room, there will be 2 urns and an altar with some junk on it. There will also be split paths. They lead to the same area, and the left has some pressure plates that shoot off some darts. The right side has a chest and some rubble we can just jump over. At the end of both paths will be 3 Draugr waiting for us. After taking care of them, we can loot all of the urns on this altar. Again, there will be a split path with staircases leading to the same area. This next room will have 1 patrolling Draugr, as well as 4 that will pop out of coffins as we move through the room. The room is a puzzle room. Each pillar on the sides will be facing the correct totem. On the left here is a fish, and on the right, a snake. If you ever get confused, the notch in these pillars will be facing the animal they're supposed to be assigned to. We'll see 2 paths up ahead with 2 different animals. It's not too complex, just set to the animal of the path you want to go and pull the lever. First the bird for the right, and the snake for the left. And you can actually have these open at the same time, so go ahead and open both, so we can grab the chest on the right side, and progress to the left. Going through some hallways into the next room, there will be one more Draugr patrolling, and two more that emerge, similar to the room prior. Inside this room, there will be a chest under the staircase, and an altar with some urns and a Draugr body. One of the Draugrs that come out of the coffins will have opened up a new path for us. Oh boy, spiders. Besides the spiders, there will be a couple egg sacs we can loot. Once we've taken care of the last two spiders before a double door, we can look to the right and find a chest. You don't need to clear the web off of it, but it makes it easier to see. Once we've looted that, we can head through. This next room will have a couple Draugr in it, as well as another pillar puzzle. For this puzzle, the pillars on the sides are just a little bit different than the pillars before. Instead of the pillars facing what they're supposed to represent, they're under what they represent. So on the left, we have a fish. On the right, we have a bird. And underneath, we'll see on the back wall that there's a snake, which corresponds to this middle pillar. Once we're all set with this, we can go ahead and throw the lever, dropping the bridge. As I'm pushed forward by the skulls on the ground, I'm reminded, a chest. Very intentional speedrun. Besides the chest, there will be some urns around the room, and we're ready to head deeper. In the first room of the second part of the temple, there will be one Draugr with two archers above him. The chest on the table is always empty, unfortunately. Besides some linen wraps and embalming tools, there's no loose loot or urns here, and the chest is empty, so we're good to move ahead. Here we find a pressure plate that's actually a 2-for-1 punch. A fire pot will drop from above, and a poison dart trap will fire at the doorway. While the fire is burning, we can turn around and find a skull which has a flawless garnet and a gold necklace on it. Some other shelves will have a soul gem, a potion, and a lot of urns in this room. Once the fire's burned out, we can move up. One path is gated, the other is a door that has 3 Draugr. If you need help, these 3 Draugr are all on top of oil, so you can knock the fire pot down, killing them all pretty easily. One side of this little room has a chest, and the other has a lever, which opens the gate ahead. The next long hallway will have 2 pressure plates hidden in some oil. They both trigger the same fire pot trap, so be careful. While the oil burns, we can check out what's inside the chest next to us, and just wait for the fire to peter out. The next little corridor will have a battle axe on the ground, as well as a Draugr waiting near a dragon claw door. The Draugr's body actually has the claw, which shows fox, butterfly, dragon as the combination. We can take it off of him, turn the rings, and activate it. Lots of skulls. The next room will have 2 lootable skeletons on some thrones, as well as a word wall for the storm call shout. Once we have the word, we can move on. There will be a burnt corpse with a longsword if we want it, but more importantly, will be a room to the right here. This room will have the usual urns, a potion, and underneath the potion next to the door, there will be a linen wrap covering 3 flawless gems. Pretty valuable. There will be an axe and helmet near this dead Draugr, as well as some more potions, and plenty more urns. As you head to the exterior of the temple, be ready for a fight. Wonderful. Marvelous. There will be 4 Draugr in this top section. If you've killed any before with arrows or magic, you can count 1 less or 2 less usually. 3 of them will be melee and 1 will be magic, but one of the melee Draugr usually doesn't aggro as you leave, so you only have a trio to contend with. Once we take out the welcoming party, we're free to check out this cracked tower. In it will be a couple urns, and some magicka potions, as well as a flawless gem. If we keep heading down, we'll eventually find a chest. We've come so far. Now that we've looted this last chest, let's go take out the last Draugr before heading up to the Dragon Priest. The final battle won't start even if you see an enemy on the compass that's aggroed that's the Dragon Priest until you go up those stairs. So we're good to just walk by and kill this Draugr. Just be careful not to get shouted off. With every Draugr killed, we're ready to head up the stairs and fight Nahkriin, the Dragon Priest. As you approach the giant beam of light, you'll see Nahkriin going for his staff up some stairs. You can actually rush him and take him out before he grabs his staff, but we're going to let it play out. Of note, there will usually be a bug where he only spawns with 50% HP, so this battle isn't usually too terrifying. Something else to point out, there are 2 dragons nearby, but they won't attack unless you do first. Once the battle's over, we can loot Nahkriin's body to take his titular mask, as well as his staff, which opens up the portal to Sovngarde where Alduin waits. We have his mask though, which is mainly what we care about. With that, Skuldafn has been completed.